Hello, welcome everyone. Today we have Mehmet from Logos Blockchain, and he gonna talk on PQ migration of Logos Blockchain. So thank you, Mehmet, for this talk, and stage is yours.
Thank you for presentation. Yeah, I am really happy to give the details of that interesting topic. So my name is Mehmet. I'm a cryptography researcher at Logos Blockchain team. Now we are focusing on to improve our protocol against quantum computers, and I will try to summarize our work, and also I will give some information about that quantum threats, and I try to explain some more complex cryptographic things in a simple way. So we can start. So this is the overview of the presentation. I will start with give some details of cryptographic, basic cryptographic operation, and I will give a brief information about what is quantum computer and why this is so popular in these days, and what are the attack types of that quantum computer. And after that, I will try to explain what are the cryptographic algorithms we use in Logos, and what are the situation of that cryptographic algorithms against quantum computer. And after that, I will try to explain our migration plan in general. So for the basic information, okay, in cryptography, we have two main algorithms. The first one is the symmetric cryptography, and the other one is the asymmetric cryptography. And for symmetric cryptography, you use the same key for encryption and decryption. And for the asymmetric part, you use different keys. The names are the private key and public key. And if you want to encrypt something for someone, you can use their public key, and they can decrypt that message using private key. And also for the asymmetric perspective, there's a digital signatures, and using your private key, you can sign some messages, and everyone can verify using your public key. And the other one is the hash function, but hash function is somehow near to symmetric algorithms, because the structure of the mathematical objects used in hash function is similar with the symmetric cryptography. Therefore, we can also say that hash function is act as a symmetric keys. And in general, so these algorithms are used in everywhere, in every blockchain space, and for the other stuff. And up to that point, we can say that these are all secure against classical computers. And even if you can use 1 million classical computers in a parallel way, and if you run that one with more than million years, you cannot break existing algorithms like AES, RSA, Elliptic, or Ketchak-Shah and Poseidon hash function. Up to this point, we are in the safe way. But now we have a different type of computers, and the name is the quantum computer. And the structure of that quantum computer is a bit different from the classical one. And you know, in classical computer, we just use the bits, and one bit can be 0 or 1. But quantum computer use the qubits, and that qubits can at the same time can be 0 or 1 or whatever between 0 and 1. And we call this property as a superposition. Therefore, that quantum computers can calculate some things is efficient than the classical computers, but we cannot say that, okay, using quantum computer, you can do everything more efficient than the classical computer. For example, even if you want to send the Instagram post, probably classical computer are more efficient than the quantum computer. You don't need the quantum computer to send this post, but for some specific problems, quantum computer can do efficient calculations. And for that one, we have some problems for the asymmetric cryptography. So for that asymmetric cryptography, we have some mathematical problems like integer factorization and the discrete logarithm problem. And that quantum computer can easily solve these problems. But this is not the case for the symmetric cryptography. So I will explain later, but we can say that we are still in a safe position for that one. And the other thing is for quantum computers, as I mentioned before, you need some qubits. And for efficient quantum computer, you need so many qubits. Therefore, also, we cannot say that every quantum computer can break some problems. You need enough qubits for that one. Therefore, still we have some time, because as we look at the literature, still there is no efficient quantum computer exist. And we call that, from cryptography perspective, we call that quantum computer cryptographically relevant quantum computer, which means that if that quantum computer has enough qubits and if they can break some cryptographic algorithms, we call them as a cryptographically relevant quantum computer. And for that one, we need hundreds of thousands of physical qubits for that quantum computer. And the other important thing is the physical qubits, because the other difference between the quantum computer and the classical computer is the probability of the calculation, because the calculation in quantum computer is probabilistic. Therefore, even if you have enough physical qubits, because of the error correcting codes, you need some logical qubits. Therefore, I will also explain what it means for the quantum computer. So, what are the algorithms just running that quantum computer? The first one is the Shor algorithms. And using Shor algorithms, you can break the integer factorization problem and the discrete logarithm problem. And for the logos, we use EDDSA or elliptic adverse curve for the signatures. And if there will be a high-scale quantum computer, an attacker, if they solve the public key using quantum computer and the Shor algorithm, they can easily find the secret key of that public key. Also, if they saw the signatures, not just public key, they can recover secret key using the Shor algorithm and the quantum computer. And the other cryptographic algorithms we used in Logos is the Gross 16, which is a proof system, and it also relies on the discrete logarithm problems. And if there's a high-scale quantum computer, still we also have some problem regarding the Gross 16 protocol. But not just for Logos, these algorithms are used in every protocol like Ethereum or Bitcoin, and also for that protocols there is a problem regarding that algorithm. And for every classical asymmetric cryptography, Shor algorithm is really big threat. And the threat is everyone can, using that algorithm, can see your private key if they see your public key or signatures. And the other algorithms, the grower algorithms, and this is the threat for the symmetric cryptography and hash functions. But the good thing is, even if it's an attack algorithm, it also shows that that symmetric ciphers and the hash functions are still secure against quantum computer, because even if you can use that algorithms and the quantum computer, the security level is just halves for that one. What it means, for example, you use the AES 256, and this gives a 256-bit 56-bit classical security, and using grower algorithm, this also still give 128-bit quantum security. Therefore, for that algorithms, we can say that we can still use that algorithms even if there is a high-scale quantum computer. And for the Logos perspective, we use some Blake function as a hash function and Poseidon function, and also AES for encryption. And we can say that we are in the safe side for that algorithms. So, but when you look at the Shor algorithm or Grover algorithm, I think the paper is published or 98 or something like that. So we know all papers and that attacks, and we are aware of that problems. Popular because especially for this year, there's a paper published from Google and researchers from Google, Ethereum, and Stanford University. They use AI also for this one, and they improve that logical qubits to break classical asymmetric cryptography and RSA. And before that one, for example, you need 9 million physical qubits, but they show that less than 500,000 physical qubits. Now you can break that algorithms. So what it means for the blockchain space, this means that as you remember, as I mentioned before, we called that quantum computer as a cryptographically relevant quantum computers. And this study shows that quantum computers will alive sooner what we expect before. Therefore, now everyone in the blockchain space try to find a solution for their protocols. And for that quantum computer, we have actually two different threads. The first one we called is now the later attack. What it means? So, for example, some information in blockchain space are important, and they can be secure more than 10 years or 20 years. I don't know, maybe 100 years. For example, especially for the related to privacy things. And even if there is no high-scale quantum computer now, an attacker can store that decrypted text or message or transaction, whatever is. And after that, if, for example, after 5 years, there will be a high-scale quantum computer, using that quantum computer, they can break that ciphertext, and they can see the important information from that text, that decrypted text. Therefore, it's a problem for that protocols, and we call that attack is harvest now, decrypt later, and that threat is really important for the privacy protocols or the other stuff. And the other attack scenario is the real-time forgery. So, and this attack is important for the signatures and the proof things, zero-knowledge proof things. And that attack is important after if there is a cryptographically relevant quantum computer. Because before that one, even if attacker can store the signatures and the other stuff, they cannot use that signatures against that algorithms, because if you just change your algorithm, signature algorithm at that time, the old information is isn't important for you, and therefore you can change your algorithm at if there is a high-scale quantum computer. Therefore, for real-time forgery, you have still time, but for harvest now, decrypt later attack, you have to change your algorithms and protocol as possible as because the attacker can start to store that information. For example, if we talk about the privacy for ZK, they use that private transaction and the other stuff, and they relies on the elliptic curve cryptography. If someone now stored old, also these are in the mempool, that transaction, and after there's a high-scale quantum computer, it can be easily see the whole transaction history, and the attacker can break that privacy things. And so, what is the status of the Logos blockchain regarding that attacks? So, we have some good news and bad news. So we have some different protocol layer for Logos blockchain, and for that one, we use Gross 16 as a proof, zero knowledge proof, and we use EDDSA for the signatures, and also for the blend protocol, we use also some elliptic curve operation, AGS operation, and also for the connection between the all nodes, we use TLS operation, and for that one, we use some elliptic curve operation. As I explained before, we are in a trouble for that algorithms, but we have also some good news. We use secure functions and some symmetric algorithms, and for that one, we can say that we are in the safe side. Therefore, we have to change that classical asymmetric cryptography, and we, in this case, we will be in a good position. But we have also some, actually, when Logos protocol, we are aware of that problem. And therefore, we design our protocols to do that migration as easy, in a easy way. Therefore, I will also explain what is the really good thing for the Logos when we compare with the other project in the literature. And also the other good news, so okay, we have some classical asymmetric cryptography, but also we are aware of that problem, and at 2016, NIST started a competition to design a post-quantum asymmetric cryptographic algorithms, and it's almost finalized. We have some standardized algorithms, and these are the new type of algorithms. These are still run on a classical computer. You don't need to quantum computer to run these algorithms. You can easily run these algorithms on your classical computer, and these are all secure against quantum computer, because the mathematical problems relies on that algorithms is different than the discrete logarithm and the factorization problem. We have some lattice problems and hash-based scheme, and also the code-based schemes. And in the we can say that we can use that algorithms for the migration. But always there is a trade-off in this world. Okay, because if there are some algorithms, so let's start to change these algorithms and everything is fine. Unfortunately not, because okay, even if the performance of these algorithms not bad, actually it's really good when you compare with the elliptic curves, but the problems are comes from the public key size and signature size and the ciphertext size. So therefore, there will be a cost of this change, but we try to find the best algorithm, best solution for the Logos, and you can see that the size problem is start with the 10x to 100x. So you have to be very careful to choose the alternative algorithm for post-quantum security. So what are the vulnerable families for the Logos? So we have EDDSA algorithms, that signature algorithms. We have Groth 16 proof, and we use that proof in different purposes. And also we use some key exchange, key share protocol in Blend. Therefore, these are the problems for Logos. But the signatures and the proofs are the real-time forgery, which means that we have still time to change these algorithms. Because as I explained before, if there is no cryptographically relevant quantum computer, so this is not a problem for the security. But for harvest now, decrypt later attacks, so we have to change the Blend protocol to secure against quantum computer, because we use that Blend protocol for de-anonymization, and therefore after some point, if attacker can take the ciphertext and break that ciphertext, they can see which node is the core node, which node is the edge node, and they can follow the all messaging protocol. Therefore, we have to solve this problem, and this is our priority for the updating the protocol. And yes, the good thing for the Logos is, so we are aware of that problem. Therefore, when we design our protocols, we use some hash-based secret key and public key generation. What it means, actually, in general, for example, if you use the secret key and public key, you use the elliptic curve, and you just take some random number as a secret key, and you can multiply with the generator point of the elliptic curve, you can get the public key. But using the Shor algorithm, if you see the public key, you can easily find the secret key, because the problem that relies on that generation is based on the elliptic curve. But in our protocol, we just use the H function to generate the public keys. And after that, for signatures, we use the proof system to generate the signatures. And we call that signatures as a ZK signature, zero knowledge signature. Therefore, if you remember, even if you can use the Grover algorithms, you cannot find the secret key behind that public key. And if you want to secure against quantum computer, you just change your proof system. And that is the real-time forgery attack. This is not a harvest now, decrypt later attack. Therefore, when you change your proof system, you can easily solve that problem. Also, even if you don't change your proof system, still attacker cannot see your secret. So attacker can do some forgery attacks for that one, but the attacker cannot get your secret even if they have quantum computer. Therefore, this is really good properties for the Logos. So, for example, for Bitcoin, it's really big problem. Therefore, they use some still elliptic curve based algorithm. And if you see the public key of that account, then you can easily get the secret key of the public key if you have a cryptographically relevant quantum computer. Therefore, Bitcoin also do some changes in their protocol. For example, they changed that if you don't send any transaction in that account, your public key isn't seen in the chain. If you spend some money from your account, then your public key is seen. They changed that structure. Therefore, they did this one not the beginning of the protocol. For example, we know the Satoshi public key, and if there will be a high-scale quantum computer, and yeah, I can say that if there is a transaction in the Satoshi wallet, then we can say that, okay, now we have a cryptographically relevant quantum computer. Therefore, someone can break that wallet and can stole that money from that wallet. And also, it's really a big problem, because in this case, the reliability of that chain is broken, because for Satoshi wallet there is a really big amount of the Bitcoin in that wallet, and it's really big problem for the reliability of the coin or the protocol. So again, the good things for us is we use the hash base generation for the secret and public key. Therefore, we can just change the gross 16 protocol as a post-quantum secure one, and we can continue with the same key. We don't need to change the secret key of the wallet and other stuff. And this is really good thing for us. And also, the other good thing for the zero knowledge protocol we used, the gross 16, it's a perfectly zero knowledge protocol. So therefore, even if attacker can see the proofs, old proofs, he cannot get the witness of that proofs. And this is also the really good property. Therefore, our proofs are secure against harvest now declared attacks. So no one can get the witness of that proofs. But it is vulnerable to real-time forgery. Therefore, they can generate some fake proof. But if we change that proof system when there is a high-scale quantum computer, so we can continue in a secure way. Therefore, we are also in a good position for that proof system. And we use that proofs for other purposes. And if that proofs are broken, so an attacker can fake the proof of leadership and proof of claim and proof of quota and the zero knowledge signatures. And actually, as you see, this is a really big problem for us. But this is the soundness problem and the forgery problem. Therefore, if we just change the algorithm at the good time, we can easily solve these soundness problem for that proofs. And for the attack scenario, we first start to analyze algorithm by algorithm we use in the logos, and we can say that we enumerate the effect of the problems, and after that we decided to use 4 phases for that post-quantum migration. The first phase we called for phase 0, and this is the harvest now decrypt later problem. We will change our TLS key exchange protocol. We will use the hybrid method for that TLS key exchange, and we plan to do that changes before the mainnet. I mean, at the end of this year, we start to use the ML-KEM, and therefore, at some point, our blend protocol is secure against, will be a secure against harvest now, decrypt later attack. And for phase one, we will change the messaging protocol inside the blend protocol. We will change the elliptic curve operation in that protocol to some post-quantum algorithms. And when the phase one is finished, there is no problem for us for harvest now, decrypt later attack. And actually, when we finish the phase zero, we are still in the safe position, but to be sure that 100% we have the good position, we have to finish the phase one for the blend. And after that, we will focus on the signatures and the proof system. And for phase two, we will change our signatures algorithms, the EDDSA algorithms, to post-quantum signatures. And the last phase is that we will change our zero-knowledge proof system. And this one is the somehow the, how can I say, most hard part, because the proof size are really big for the post-quantum secure proof system. And in this case, we will try to do some optimization or maybe aggregation solution for that one. And after that phase is finished, we can say that Logos blockchain is fully post-quantum secure. And these are the phases for us. And we did some research for the existing algorithms, and we also try to find the best algorithms for our protocols. And for key exchange part, we have some ML-KEM algorithms which based on the lattices, and Mechalis algorithm and HQC algorithm. These are the code-based algorithm. We have some options for key exchange. And for signatures, we have Dilithium MLDSA algorithm and the Falcon algorithm. These are the lattice-based algorithm. And there are some hash-based signatures. These are the Sphinx and the XMSS algorithms. Also, these are in the candidates for us. And for zero-knowledge proof system, we have some Starks protocol. These are the hash-based proof system, and also some lattice-based snarks for zero-knowledge proofs. And we are trying to find the best option for us. And we have some, yes, diversified shortlist for that candidates. And so when we summarize the our process, as I mentioned before, we did the threat analysis for every cryptographic surface across the Bedrock and Blend. We classified the threat classes, which one is the harvest now, decrypt later, which one is the real-time forgery. And after that, we list the candidates for the new algorithms. And the other good thing is that we did the benchmark using Raspberry Pi. And you know that the main purposes of the Logos blockchain is if you become a node, even if you use some small devices or like Raspberry Pi, you can be a node provider. Therefore, for the testnet, we also run that node in the Raspberry Pi, and we can see the good results also for this one. And we don't want to change that Raspberry Pi also for post-quantum. And we did our benchmark on Raspberry Pi. We try to run different libraries for post-quantum, also for post-quantum TLS. And I can say that we also get some good results for KEM algorithms and the signatures algorithms. And it seems that the first three phases, we will in a good position. The only problem maybe for the zero knowledge stuff, that zero migration, that phase 2, but we are still working on that problem, and we also try to solve that problem for us. And yes, we can do some summary. Just these are the 5 things to remember for that presentation. And the only the first one is the quantum doesn't break everything, because there's some misunderstanding for this one. Quantum doesn't break every cryptographic algorithms. There are still secure algorithms, but yes, some algorithms will be broken. Therefore, everyone who use that classical asymmetric cryptography has to change their algorithms for to be quantum secure. And we have 2 different attacks. First one is the harvest now decryptor, and the other one is the real-time forgery. And you have, if you are in the threat for harvest now decryptor, you have to change your classical asymmetric cryptography now. But for real-time forgery, we have still time. Maybe we can say that 3 or 4 years, because the recent paper published by Google say that, okay, at the end of the 2030, there can be a high-scale quantum computer. And the other thing is, you always know, see the new paper using AI. They improve everything, especially for, I think today, they also use AI and make some attacks against AES. They find the best attack. It is not a problem for the security of the algorithm, but this shows that using AI, you can improve some things. Therefore, for high-scale quantum computer, I think 2030 is the deadline for changing your algorithms. And the other thing is, we are aware of this problem, and we use hash-based key generation. Therefore, it's really good for Logos blockchain. No user do the rekeying. They just use the same key, but we just changed the proof system for that one. And the problem is, for the post-quantum algorithm, is not the speed, not the efficiency, but the size, because the public key size and the signature size are really big for the new algorithms. And the last thing is, the TLS is the easy part for us. we will do this change for before the mainnet, but the changing the zero knowledge system is the hard one, and we try to solve this problem. We can solve. I I hope we can solve, because we have a good researchers and engineer. We can solve this problem. Yes. This is the end of my talk. Thank you for your listening. And if you have any question, comments, all are welcome.
Thank you, thank you, Mehmet. I think it's a quite optimistic way too. I'm glad to hear that. So yes, Marvin has a question. Marvin.
All right, so I forgive me if I'm missing some details, or details are slightly off. But the with the blockchain, you use the leadership ceremony locally to show that you're the leader for that slot, and that's a GROT16 proof. Now, with the rewards, if your block is accepted, is paid privately as well. And I think that's part of the GROT16 proof. Is that correct? Or am I misremembering?
Yes. It's gross
And
16.
it's at, but if I remember correctly, the payment can be redeemed at any point. Is that the payment that the GROT16 proof locks for being the sequencer? I may have gotten cut off on half that question.
Actually, I don't understand the question.
Okay, so in my mind, the leadership proof includes that you're the leader, and also payment for the block production that you do for that slot. Is the payment separate from that proof?
No, it's the payment is separate.
Okay.
Yeah, the payment is separate. Yeah.
But the payment is done through it's done privately through a different proof, though. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is that a GROT16 proof?
Yes.
And does the payment have to be redeemed during that slot, or is it like you can
No. You don't need to do in that slot.
So my worry with that portion, the payment portion, then is like I completely believe that the leadership portion's like fine and you upgrade it later and it's a non-issue. But if the payment can be redeemed at any point, GROT16 proofs are forgeable, and I can take a known proof that's been a known proof that's not been redeemed, and say instead of paying me 10 tokens, you pay me 1,000 tokens. That's my only worry, I guess.
Yeah. But this is a problem if there is a cryptographically relevant quantum computer. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So with I to clarify my the reason I'm making a distinction between the leadership proof and the payment proof is, for leadership, it's a historical proof. You've recorded it. I can't come back later and at some point you upgrade Logos blockchain and you go, okay, we will not accept any more GROT16 leadership proofs. So whether I can forge one or not wouldn't matter after that point. But this payment proof, if I haven't redeemed it yet, it's still valid and it still exists. And that's where I'm wondering about the forgery mattering.
But why? Because you also change your claim proof. In this case, after that point, the old proofs, all claim proofs are, you cannot use that old proofs because you change your also claim proof for
Okay, so at some point you would at the upgrade portion you would no longer accept claims.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think
Yeah.
I think that clarifies my issue. There's a cutoff at some point. Okay.
Yeah. You have to cut some at some point. Yeah, you have to cut.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Thanks.
Yeah. By the way, I think I have some problem about my connection. Can you hear me?
I
Yes,
can hear
I
you.
think
It's
we
gone in
can.
and out a little bit.
Yes, slightly breaking. Maybe you can
Yeah.
just close your camera to enhance the connection. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I have a question about the TLS-KEM. It's about the phase 0, right? You are planning to
Yes.
switch to TLS-KEM, but as far as I know, it provides the good exchange key, PQ key exchange, but I think its authentication, it's not mature right now. So do you need
Yes.
the TLS
Yeah.
authentication?
No.
Or even if you don't need it?
At phase 0, we just changed the key exchange part. There's no also authentication problem, for TLS. This is also we can also change this later. But for phase 0, we just changed the key exchange, not the authentication part. But at some point for the phase 0, when we change the signatures, we can also add the authentication, post-quantum authentication for the TLS.
Okay, because the TLS authentication is mostly for the servers and servers among the service clients, which is not like this in the Logos network, right? You are using the external signature for that. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Any question, comments?
Yes, I have one more. This is for phase 4, which I'm going to preface with one question before: is have there been any thoughts about phase 4 on replacing Grot16, or is this okay, we'll get through mainnet, we'll get these other upgrades done before we even think about that?
The best option for Grot16 is just now the Starks, and we also look at the lattice base, but it's
lattice base is kind of unfortunate on the proof size.
It's really bad. But even if we use that Starks, again the problem is the proof size, and our idea is somehow do aggregation proof, recursion proof, even if there is a big proof. If we aggregate the whole proof at some point, even if the last one is the big, okay, we accept that size, and we try to continue with this only maybe one Stark proof instead of so many Stark proofs. But yes, this is a really big problem because using Grot16, it's really short proof, and everything is fine with that one. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious personally about looking more into Ligero, which is a hash-based proof system. The reason this piqued my interest is because Google, I think, basically kind of strong-armed, I guess, ZK passports into using it for the post-quantum secure. They have been using Grot16, so maybe
they use that. I also look at that Ligero things, but still the proof size is not short for also Ligero.
Yeah, I think we're
okay.
I think as a society we should agree that post-quantum computers should just be abandoned, so we can keep the small proof sizes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mehmet, also you are saying that you are trying to find the best primitives for signatures, right? And is it means
Yes.
it means that can we say that the optimum PQ primitives for is a least storage required one, right? Or do you have some any other feature you consider?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, this is the case. And for the existing algorithms, for example, some algorithms are good in verification speed. Some are good in the public key size. Some are good in the signature size. Therefore, depend on the protocol, we somehow choose the best way, and we also, let's say, we also calculate the size of the transaction or the other stuff, and we try to decide which one is the best for us. Yeah, for example, for hash-based signatures, if you use the stateful, you have to count how many times you generate signatures, and this is really not usable for the blockchain space, because you don't need to count the number of signatures and the other stuff. But for example, you want to update you want to do the software update. Okay, you can use hash-based stateful one, because probably in 1 year you can do one or two software update. Therefore, you can use that type of one. But yes, in our case, that hash-based stateful is, for example, meaningless for us. We try to find the best size and speed for us.
Yeah, and do you think that this migration requires some changes on Logos blockchain? For example, can we say that the block size getting increased a little bit because the signatures requires more
Maybe.
storage?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Mostly, maybe. Yeah.
Thank you. I have also the one general question. I see the different post-quantum migration reports from different teams and companies. For example, Ethereum has, right? And maybe the Google I came across, but did not dive in. And did you have a chance to check any of them? So there's some parallel similarity with others. Of course, our case, Logos blockchain case, is particular and unique, right? It shouldn't be exactly the same. But I guess that there might be some parallelity between existing ones and the Logos blockchain one, right?
Yes. We also follow what they will do, but yeah, the good thing for us is we still don't do the mainnet, and the harvest now, decrypt later attack, still not possible for us, because there's no transaction and other stuff yet. But yes, we will try to follow also that development for the other teams.
Yeah, thank you. Quite long session. Any other comments or question? So it looks like no. So yeah, we can wrap up. Thank you, Mehmet, and also thank you, auditors. And if you watch this in YouTube or something else, you can join the discussion. Sorry, you can join the discussion, and by checking forum.research.logos.co, so you would see the related post in the forum. So see you in the next sessions. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.